Vice Chair of the committee, the gentleman from Mississippi, Mr. Guest, for 5 minutes of questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And before I begin my question, I have something I'd like to submit for the record. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit for the record a post from January 15, 2019, titled "The Case for Impeachment of Donald Trump, Part 3, written by Mr. Bowman, one of our witnesses today, in which he takes a very a view of impeachment, in which he says that then President Donald Trump could be impeached over foreign policy differences. And I quote from that article, it said, "Surely we can impeach a president for needless shattering a basket of good treaties and entire intricate web of foreign relations they support. Consider Mr. Trump's rolling destruction of America's foreign policy." And goes on to say there's powerful evidence that the framers included conducts damaging to the U.S. policy, a category of impeachable behavior. I think that contradicts the testimony that we've heard here today, Mr. Chairman, from Mr. Bowman, and so I would like to submit this article for the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To our witnesses, thank you for being here today. We see the numbers on the southwest border continue to grow exponentially each and every day. As our attorney generals know, you are more aware of these numbers than we are because you deal with the after effects. Those 300,000 that came across the border just last month, many of those will end up in your communities. Your testimonies, as I've read them, says that your communities, your states, your cities, that you'll be responsible for housing, for feeding, for educating, for health care. You talk about the strain that this is going to be placing on the criminal justice system. And then you also talk about the total lack of response from our federal government. And so first I want to apologize to you that you are not getting the help that you need from the federal government. And the help that you need is not us sending you money after these immigrants have come into your community. The help that you need is us stopping the immigrants from coming across the border. What we saw is we need policies similar to what we saw under the previous administration, where we were able to stop immigrants from coming across the border. The last two witnesses on the other side try to place blame on this on the Republican Party, that we need to be doing more. And I know that our attorney generals know, and I hope those watching on television know, that this Republican Party has done our part. We have passed H.R. 2, the most comprehensive immigration package that has been made through at least the House of Representatives in decades, would substantially overhaul the crisis that we see. In addition to that, we passed our House Appropriations Bill dealing with Homeland Security. In that House Appropriations Bill, we added additional Border Patrol agents. We added merit pay bonuses for those agents who had been there for a while. We put money in the budget for technology. And we even said, hey, we got to get back to building the wall. Something that I think many of us will agree has to be a part of that comprehensive package. And so for my friends across the aisle who want to place the blame on Republicans that we haven't done anything, look at our bills that are sitting over there on Chuck Schumer's desk that he's not taking up in the Senate. As they continue to sit there, as they continue to fiddle, Rome burns. And you are having to deal with the aftermath of that. And so I have a question for you, and Marjorie Taylor Greene talked a little bit about this. We've repeatedly had the Secretary here. He's come here time and time and time again. And every time that he's been asked a question by me and my colleagues, he has repeatedly said that our southwest border is secure. Regardless of the facts and figures and anything that statistically you show him where that is not the case, that is what he continues to hang his hat on, that this border is secure and that there is no crisis. Well, we know there's a crisis because you see it. And so my question here in the last just 30 seconds that I have, and I'm going to ask all four of our witnesses a very simple yes or no question. Do you believe that there is a crisis at the southern border, and is the border secure? So I guess I'm going to ask each of you two questions. Is the border secure? We'll start there. And the second one is, do you believe that there's a crisis? Attorney General Knudsen, we'll begin with you.
Congressman, the southern border is absolutely not secure, and this is far beyond a crisis at this point.
Similarly, it is not secure and we have a crisis.
General Bailey,
The border is not secure in the crisis of historically epic proportion.
and Mr. Bowman.
As I said at the outset, I'm not an expert on immigration policy. I don't have any opinion on this question.
What's your personal opinion?
My personal opinion is that there is, as there has been for decades, and indeed probably a century and a half in this country, a lot of controversy about immigration policy. There's controversy about the way in which immigration policy is being administered at the southern border. I think at the moment we seem to have more problems in that area than we've had in some past eras. Yes.
Thank you for your very politically correct answer. So with that, I yield back.